Right down. Birdie do 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 do. Ba 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 do ba dee ba do be dee be do bo. Wop ba ba dee ba do ba do ba. Wop wah 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 ba 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 do bo. I got you on my side, on my side, on my side. I got you. I got you on my side. Got you on my side until you fly. I got you. Got you. I got you. I got you on my side. On my side until I fly. I got you. Today I wanted to talk to you about something very important. Hi, friends. My name is Trey, and these are my myths. Like and subscribe so that I may begin the serious journey of a spontaneous exploration into what is the truth and what is the myth in this human adventure. Today I want to talk to you about something I call positionality. It's very similar to identity, or identity politics is certainly a chapter in the book on positionality. The Russian mystic and beloved spiritual master G.I. Gurdjieff would recommend in his writings 7 years. He would recommend to master something for 7 years, and if you still fully are passionate about it and want to pursue it, then you are welcome to go forth. But if you are bored or sick of it, the idea was that you could go do something else. My brother was in the restaurant business and he got sick of it. So I'm very proud that he, through YouTube and Facebook, before I became serious about involving my life with it, he taught himself how to be a small appliances repairman. The tragedy with my mother and my brother and I, all with our Mercury and retrograde in our natal charts, that the lockdown occurred just within a year after he had begun that. So I hope that works out either way, whether he pursues it or not. But that is a perfect example of the topic. So perhaps one of the reasons why many people reject me or pretend to love me, my Mercury and Capricorn retrograde, it's one of the dark parts of it. They'll say, "Oh, hey Trey, talk to the hand," because they perceive me as the person I was when I was angry in a born again angry rant, or sometimes on my worst days projecting my personal problems into the world's problems, using my personal flaws as an excuse to rant about the world's issues. But honestly, it's for me, since I've discovered all these sheets and dozens of different people online with their evidence and their stories. And according to Indigo Angel's chart she posted a couple weeks ago about this region, I really have. It is like I really perceive the little green, little gray men. Whenever somebody gets upset, anxious, judgmental, rejects me, has to go, has to shut me down really fast, says I gotta go. It's because it's not even really just them. It's a mass formation psychosis, like what the media did. Okay, in the last few years, it's the same principle. And again, it all is evolving around the identity politic. This is why the Buddhism was one of the few ancient religious traditions, pure Mahayana. It could not be very well infiltrated by the Dark Lords because the Buddha had the answer, folks. The Buddha taught us not to identify. The Buddha taught ways that I could not leave this sacred town, little small mountain campsite next to this beautiful, extremely haunted and cursed and blessed sacred town and not get cut up or beat up too much by the ghosts, particularly if I meditate. So meditation is a great way. Just breath work. What's known as the master chant, or the silent A is a good one. You imagine the sound you make in the dentist chair. The Tibetans would do it in the navel, sacral chakra, and then another Indian school did it in the heart. But any form of really deep meditation can help so much with every spiritual growth process. But many people, I'm saying, feel the need to reject me, whether or not they're involved with Illuminati rituals and the Great Reset or not. Some that claim to be or are part of the resistance are those who are telling the truth because of their linear age or their fixed zodiac signs or their simply stubbornness or their fear. Even though they're super courageous people, they're afraid of the openness of my heart or mind or my positions, or the open disclosure about my mental or physical issues, or my, they made me put the PCR up my nose when I got to the Santa Clara Valley Trauma Center. I guess they shot me up with so much morphine. I said, I'll rip these needles. So the cute 20-year-old Asian girl said, well, you can do it yourself. You can just put it right here. So I rubbed it right there. So now I've recently discovered that means there's definitely a clone of me somewhere, probably multiple. And I got beat over the head by a couple of Aryan gangsters almost exactly 10 years before that. And about 2 blocks from the same, less than a block from the same exact spot that they said I fell over on my bicycle, and a PG&E truck supposedly ran me over. We got in touch with over 9 or 10 lawyers here in Santa Cruz. I hadn't had a chance to try other counties. Several friends said if I did that, I'd get the big bucks and that none of these guys would help me because it's biting the hand that feeds them. So if anyone out there and my friends and family knows of any lawyers who have the courage to question the police, they said it was my fault that I fell over on the bicycle, which I don't know if it's accurate or not because I blacked out. So anyways, I was on so much... I suppose I was on so much morphine, I said, I'll rip these. So I didn't notice any negative effects from it. I didn't, I just touched them right here. But, after they switched me off of, from morphine to the injection of lidocaine, and I got hydrocodone every 4 hours. And for 5 days, Rockefeller got to choose my food and my medicine. Because just like the allopathic system, just like with alternatives to cancer up until 10 years ago. No, look here, world. Just like G. Edward Griffin's material, The first I heard of him was a film he made, the truth about the cancer conspiracy. And so the truth is out about all this stuff. So just do your research, world, if you want to know the truth. It's real obvious what's happened. So yeah, the identity. This was about the identity politics in the original here. So I've gotten accustomed to going to 15 because it's my magic number and my legal allotted time till I don't know how many hours I have to hit here. So, but it helps me to focus. So, like I said, to encapsulate here, the Buddha had the answer in many regards to many issues we have now. And this, perhaps these injections will just intensify what was already done through the cellular microwave phones, the other microwave and radiation based mind control, frequency control, nanobot control, uh, weaponry, which is like going to reinforce this concept that I'm speaking of here, which is that you are this one person, one job, one role. And especially if you live here in the West Coast in beautiful California, you're going to identify as that. You're going to identify as whatever you're doing, or you're going to identify as being this whipped husband. You're going to identify as having to come up with that property tax. You're going to identify. Okay? That's why it's identity, That's why it's make up your own gender. Be anything you want. Identify as anything you want, as long as you don't want to reproduce. We have way too many people. When BG does a TED Talk and openly says the number one problem on planet Earth is we have way too many people. And if we do a real good job with vaccinations, we can lower that. And then that person openly, like the Nazi and Eugenics families they're from, try to enforce that on everyone, and many of you obey, and you don't connect the dots, even though I told you before you did it. I hope you can forgive yourselves on the way out, man, because it's a heavy, heavy, heavy illness, in every way. But the ITOL, is the solution. But even there, if I rebel too hard, if I cling too hard to nature, I might not fully heal. I might need to move in the black magic box, magic cube to get a hot bath, or to not die of, freezing. So every time I or anyone we cling to this identity of this notion, just remember that in a free will universe, ideally, or if you're becoming more of a master, a real human being, a real spirit in a human body, you can learn to be something else. You can choose something else. And if you have the courage and the will. And so easy to become addicted to things and places and the means, and I'm such an idealist that I have identified with the Dark Lord's minions and all these wealthy people in this town that I wanted the best food, the best ganja, the best views. But that's all, again, just ideas. And if we can realize these ideas flow through our minds, like let them flow through our minds, then we can see the grand picture is that I'm a ray of the holy, sacred Christ light beaming through a clay body temporarily, having some insight while I play and have fun in my works, getting my works done by sharing the sun's loving, divine, open, conscious oneness light hug